साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
Good evening, Jai Shri Mataji. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello, Arya. How are you?
Good, and yourself, Rita and Chris?
Very good. Excited to restart the new journey again.
Yes.
Isn't that fantastic?
Learn
how
to
have you been?
meditate.
Learn to meditate. That is correct.
Yeah.
Now, it is, look, it is absolutely, I think when one of the things I've learned with the 21-day series, when we do restart every time, you're always learning something new. It's a great, different experience. Vibrationally, it's different. Meditatively, it's different. And you always kind of, with different presenters, we always learn so many different things. So it's, as they say, a living, growing process within ourselves, isn't it?
Yeah, a living process and a continuous learning process.
That is correct, yes.
Transformative, very transformative, I have found, since those series have started. So I'm noticing things, blossoming, or not blossoming, but transforming.
Yes, definitely. Ideas, or I don't know, it just seems so joyous and yeah, difficult to explain at the moment, isn't it? I kind of find sometimes.
Yes.
It's not kind of like a mental learning thing, isn't it? It's kind of more like a flower, you're just opening and you kind of, flower becoming the fruit.
Oh.
So it's a transformation of that, in depth, in your, I don't know, in the joy, in the heart opening. Just things seem to just fall into place like a little puzzle, which is great. And
we want to share it with others.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, welcome everybody to our new series that we are starting today. And I think we might as well introduce the series. Our lovely Tech Dimitri, if you want to put this slide up, we might as well do that at the start. Because we've got the Learn to Meditate series that is starting now for beginners and for practitioners, regular practicing Sahaja. So there's no kind of set set plan, or there's no set idea. We kind of get together, the presenters kind of decide what they were going to do. So on Mondays at 6 o'clock Sydney time, we've got every Monday, and 10 o'clock Sydney time on Tuesdays, which is hosted by Perth, hosted from Perth. And the Monday one is hosted from Canberra. So if we go down on the screen a little bit, you'll see, if you have missed the sessions, you can see the daily recordings underneath, which are as the Monday ones are a session, Zoom sessions 1, 2, 3, and then the Tuesday ones are sessions 2, 3, 4. But this is where you would then go and join the Zoom recording or the YouTube. The Zoom is preferable because it ends up being a little bit more interactive. You can post questions, and talk. They have a little a 15-minute chit-chat session before the program starts, so that at the end of the program, once you're in a beautiful meditative mood, we can just peacefully disperse and you can kind of retain that meditative state for a longer period of time. And then if we just go down a little bit, yes, so this is where, if you have missed, this is where you can then re-watch the sessions that are available, the ones hosted from Perth and the ones hosted from Canberra. And there's a WhatsApp group, so it is interactive. You can have one-to-one mentors. We can do mentoring. Eventually down the track, we'll have side rooms where we can, and then you just go down the page to join the WhatsApp group for learn to meditate.
On that icon, just click that and you can join the WhatsApp group, and we can
just a little, that's correct. Yes.
We can answer your questions, and you
absolutely
can
there's quite a few other practitioners that have joined, that are there, so someone will definitely answer or have one-to-one session kind of talk if you're a bit shy talking in the group. And for whatever reason, if you can't join now and you'd like to join a beginner's course at a later time, because they're also starting an intensive June 21-day session, and there'll be sessions that will be coming in the future, please register for a beginner's course there. And the great thing about accessing through here is that everything we use, everything that we are doing, including meditation music, including videos that we use, all our, the chakra charts, information about the chakras. Later as we go, we teach you different balancing techniques, clearing techniques, foot soaks, how to use elements. So all of that has, it's in the resources section and will be accessible, at any time. So that's an absolutely great way, great resource section that's been built up over the last year or so, which is fantastic. And they have quite a few of Shri Mataji's talks and stuff. They've got little, photos of Shri Mataji that you can print out. But yes, so that all of that resources thing, I think, comes up later, because the most important part of it to start with is the meditation. So I will let Chris and Arya talk a little bit about that.
You're going to lead the meditation, aren't you, Rita?
Yes. Later, yes. So, well, yes, that is true. With today's session, we've just got a short talk of Shri Mataji that she had in Italy, where she was explaining, it's one of the older talks as an interview that she was giving, explaining that why it was important to, find the spirit or the meditation, or what's the reason behind it. And then we've got a short program that she had done in New York, giving realization, which is again, I'll let you and Chris explain what that means a little bit, and then I'll do a short meditation at the end.
Yeah, so there was something very interesting in what she said, was that we have thoughts, and they're linear and the fixed ideas we have when we are thinking, but then when we become the spirit, it radiates on all sides. So I kind of had to reflect on that, and it seems to me that there's this beautiful energy comes from the heart instead of these ideas that are fixed, and this energy is the energy of love. And if we have too much chatter in our minds, the peace and the love cannot radiates. That's kind of what I felt it was, but what do you feel it means, what Shri Mataji is saying?
Yes, it's just like the reflecting, as you said, exactly, just the reflecting of the light from the prism kind of stuff, so you kind of then absolutely one is not just absorbing, so it's not just absorbing the vibrations and we're going deeper, but then we're also kind of reflecting it out, so that love and the joy that we feel or that we kind of become is something that we are able to share. And that great example you were saying, when you go to work where people kind of felt that difference, that's absolutely a
Yes.
fantastic example of that. Yes.
People feel it when we're peaceful, they feel it. Yeah, definitely.
It's infectious.
It's infectious.
Not like a virus.
No.
It makes people feel better.
Yes.
Actually, you radiate the love.
That is true. Yes.
Yes.
Which
From the
meditation
heart.
gives you.
That is true. So I think what we do is, shall we start? Because mostly what we'll be covering in the coming weeks, I think, Ariane, next week you were saying you're doing the program with the balancing, and they'll be talking a little bit about, the subtle system. Unless, Chris, do you want to talk a few minutes about the subtle system before we get in? Because when Shri Mataji is talking, it'll be good to have a quick explanation in case we have people that are brand new.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
So we have our gross body, which is your arms and your head. But this is the subtle system, and it's pretty integral to Sahaja Yoga. You over the course of the coming weeks, we'll be talking about, like next week, we were talking about channels, which are one is the left channel, which is our desire channel, and the other one's the right channel, which is our action channel. And we also have one in the center, and that one in the center starts at the Kundalini, and that Kundalini is the energy that Shri Mataji awakens in the self-realization process, and that energy flows up through things that we call chakras, which are wheels of energy located at the nerve plexuses. And the object of self-realization is to enable that energy to travel up the central channel to balance the left and right side, and to pierce the fontanelle at the top of the head, and that is experienced as a cool breeze, and also a state of thoughtlessness. So the meditation in Sahaja Yoga is a state of having no thoughts, or widening the gap between the thoughts that you have, and that's the source. That meditation is the source of the peace that you find within yourself, and also it enables the journey of self-discovery that you go along as you meditate. Meditate regularly is the best way to experience this whole phenomenon. And we'll be going through that chakra through the weeks. This is the start of that journey.
That is correct. And as you said, the vibrations that you feel is again because of what Chris was talking in terms of chakras and the energy channels, is what through meditation in the Eastern kind of culture that they discovered, whereas in the Western scientific culture where we talk about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, or the seven, the chakras are basically the plexus, the seven plexus that we have within our system. And again, the energy, the vibrations we're feeling because of the nervous system. Because once these energy centers, which are the representation, so the plexus is the physical representation of the energy centers within the cerebrospinal fluid of our spine. So so then once the chakras are awakened, the energy and the nervous system kind of gets energized, enlightened, and connected. So then we start to feel that flowing through our hands and our subtle system. So,
Yeah.
did you want to add anything, Ariane?
No, I think you've covered it. One more thing is that the Kundalini in the triangular bone in 3.5 coil is asleep until we get our self-realization. Then it gets awakened, and the Kundalini, the motherly energy, nourishes all the centers. So any imbalances, she will cleanse some of it to help, so we can get to feel that peaceful state, get to that peaceful state.
That is correct. And I suppose the main thing that we need to be acknowledged is very much, once upon a time it was more of a one-to-one. So it was quite difficult. People went off to the mountains and out from their families to kind of train their mind first, train their body, control those, and then in the end, hopefully, would achieve their realization, because that was the aim. The great thing about the technique that Shri Mataji has discovered is that now that end process becomes the first step. So we're basically starting where all that ended, so that epitome, and then going from there onwards. So we get our realization so that we can kind of become our own masters in cleansing, rather than being told what to do. So I think that's one of the greatest joys of our journey, isn't it? That introspection, and then kind of rediscovering ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. So let us start. Ariane, would you like to introduce the bandhan, or we skip it till next week?
Yeah, no, we can do the raising the Kundalini. So we place our left hand in front of ourselves, and then the right hand is going to go around, because the energy is circular. And then we do one knot on top of our head. Then the second time, we're going to do 2 knots. So again, we go around the left hand to the top of the head. 1 and 2. And then the third time, we're going to do 3 knots. 1, 2, and 3 for the 3 channels. And then we are going to do a bandhan, which is a protection, a love protection around our 7 centers. That's why we do 7. So 1, all the way above the head, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let me just
So what I just request is, part of the process of meditation that we do is we have our palms facing up and open, and just resting lightly on your laps as you're sitting for meditation. And part of the meditation process is we're just being comfortable. If you're sitting on a bed, on a chair, on the floor, it doesn't matter. The important thing is just being nice and relaxed and allowing that process to happen. So just sitting down, we'll watch the little talk of interview of Shri Mataji. Again, if you could just sit with your hands facing upwards and on your lap, relaxed. And then we'll go to what we say the realization process, where the awakening of the Kundalini, that this mother energy, as Ariane was saying, happens within us. Through that process, Shri Mataji does request if you can close your eyes to start with. So if you could do that, that would be great. If you have glasses, you could just take those off for those little 10 minutes that the realization process is happening. And then we continue for a little bit of meditation after that. So we will see you in a few minutes again.
Difícil por estos tiempos hablar del espíritu.
It's difficult on this time to talk about the spirit.
That's most essential at this time.
Es la cosa más esencial en este momento.
We are in a chaotic world because we don't know that we are the spirit.
Vivimos en un mundo caótico porque no sabemos que somos el espíritu.
All this restlessness is because we have to still become the spirit.
Todo este nerviosismo alrededor se da porque justamente no sabemos que somos el espíritu.
Without that, we are still at a human level.
Sin esto, estamos siempre en un sistema, en un nivel humano.
And we live in a relative world,
Y vivimos en un mundo relativo,
while we have to be in the absolute.
mientras que tendríamos que estar en el absoluto.
Now, this work I've been doing for the last 25 years.
Este trabajo lo he estado haciendo desde los últimos 25 años.
And I feel that a global transformation has started.
Y siento que una transformación global ha comenzado.
Once you become the spirit, in the light of the spirit, you can solve all the problems.
En el momento que se vuelve el espíritu, con la luz del espíritu, se pueden resolver todos los problemas.
So most essential thing today is to become the spirit.
Entonces la cosa esencial hoy es el volverse el espíritu.
Because with these mental projections, you cannot solve the problem.
Porque con estas proyecciones mentales es imposible de resolver los problemas.
Mental projection is linear, and after some time it recoils.
La proyección mental es algo lineal y después de un momento dado cae.
And affects the person or the society or the collectivity. Everything is affected.
Y afecta a la persona o a la sociedad, a la colectividad. Todo el mundo es afectado por esto.
Moreover, everybody has different ideas which are fixed.
Aparte de esto, mucha gente tiene ideas que son fijas.
But when you become the spirit, it radiates on all sides.
Pero cuando uno se vuelve el espíritu, esto se irradia por todos lados.
And you become a subtler personality.
Y uno se vuelve una personalidad más sutil.
And you develop a new dimension called as collective consciousness.
Y uno desarrolla una nueva dimensión llamada conciencia colectiva,
Then you can feel another person on your fingertips.
en la cual uno puede sentir a otras personas en la punta de los dedos.
All our problems come to us through our energy centers within us in a subtle way.
Todos los problemas que tenemos se originan en problemas en los centros energéticos al interior de
Physical,
nosotros.
mental, emotional, spiritual.
Todos los problemas mentales, físicos, emocionales y espirituales.
But in us is placed an energy which is in the triangular bone,
Pero en nosotros se encuentra una energía que está en el hueso triangular,
of which we are not aware.
de la cual no somos en absoluto conscientes.
But it's a very ancient secret knowledge of Indian scriptures.
Pero es un conocimiento secreto y muy antiguo de las escrituras hindúes.
They knew about it.
Ellos sabían sobre esto.
Even the bone is called sacrum, the triangular bone.
De
That
hecho,
means the Greeks knew it's a sacred bone.
de hecho, el hueso triangular llamado el sacro quiere decir que los griegos sabían que es un hueso sagrado.
Also in Colombia, I've seen in their very old antique pieces of say 3000 before Christ, they have the emblem of this Kundalini of 3.5.
También lo he visto en Colombia, que en piezas muy antiguas, de 300 años anteriores a Cristo, piezas artísticas, este símbolo de la Kundalini, de la espiral, 3 veces y medio dado vuelta en sí mismo.
This work
aparece.
was done in India till the 12th century in a way that it was done only one person was giving self-realization to only one person.
Esto en India sucedía, pero hasta el siglo XII se daba de tal forma en la cual una persona que obtenía la realización daba en toda su vida la realización a otra persona.
That was the tradition.
Esa era la tradición.
But in the 16th century, even in India, we had lots of saints.
Pero en el siglo XVI, incluso en India, hay muchos santos.
They talked about these times.
Y comenzaron a hablar sobre estos tiempos.
And at this time, they said, it's the last judgment where many people will get their self-realization.
Y dijeron que estos tiempos modernos son el tiempo del juicio final, en la cual muchas personas obtendrán la realización.
Many poets, even in England, have talked about it.
Muchos poetas, incluso en Inglaterra, han hablado de esto.
I'm sure also in your country there must have been some poets who must have predicted.
Estoy seguro que en este país debe haber habido también algunos poetas que han predecido esto.
The problem of modern times is such that people are restless for some reason or other.
El problema de los tiempos modernos es que la gente está muy nerviosa por un motivo o el otro
And they don't know what it is.
y no saben por qué.
Another modern idea, especially American, is that we must enjoy every moment of our life.
Y otra idea muy en boga, especialmente en América, es que debemos gozar de cada minuto de nuestra vida.
But this enjoyment is self-destructive.
Pero el problema es que el gozar, este gozo se vuelve autodestructivo.
It leads you to incurable diseases. It leads you to the destruction of families, destruction of what is real pure joy.
Y lleva a la destrucción de las familias, a enfermedades, a la destrucción de la alegría verdadera y pura.
But when this power rises through these 6 centers, then she pierces through your fontanelle bone area.
Pero cuando este poder se eleva y atraviesa los 6 centros y atraviesa finalmente la zona de la fontanela arriba de la cabeza,
And connects you to this all-pervading power of divine love.
los conecta a este poder divino, de amor divino.
We see these beautiful flowers here, and we take it for granted. It's a miracle.
Vemos estas flores alrededor nuestro muy hermosas y las damos por sentado, pero nos damos cuenta que es un milagro.
Who does this work?
¿Quién hace este trabajo?
In the Bible is described as the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost.
En la Biblia esto está descrito como la brisa fresca del Espíritu Santo.
In the Quran as Ruh,
En el Corán como Ruh
and in our scriptures as Paramachaitanya.
y en las escrituras hindúes como Parama Chaitanya.
They have all talked about this all-pervading power, the subtle power that does all the living work.
Todos han hablado de este poder sutil, este poder omnipresente que hace todo el trabajo que es viviente.
But talk has been talk.
Pero hablar siempre se ha hablado.
Now the time has come to get this self-realization in a very spontaneous manner.
El tiempo ha llegado de obtener esta realización de una forma muy espontánea.
If I have done any work, is this that I've found out the method by which our mass realization could begin.
Si he hecho algún trabajo es simplemente encontrar la forma o el método por la cual masas pueden obtener en un momento la realización.
For example, yesterday in that beautiful hall, it was all full, absolutely full.
Por ejemplo, ayer en este hermoso teatro, que es el Teatro Avenida, estaba completamente lleno, absolutamente
And
lleno.
they all raised both the hands, saying that they have felt the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost.
Y cuando se le preguntó si habían sentido esta brisa fresca del Espíritu Santo, todo el mundo levantó las dos manos.
I was really surprised.
Me he sentido muy sorprendida.
Because, you see, people are so worried nowadays here with political problems, this problem, but they got it.
Porque la gente está muy preocupada estos días con problemas políticos o de este tipo o del otro, pero todos la obtuvieron.
By this ascent, firstly, your physical problems are solved without going to the doctors, by your own power.
A través de esta ascensión, lo primero que sucede es que los problemas físicos se resuelven sin ir a los médicos.
Then, secondly, I mean, like I can tell you in India, 4 doctors have got They're MD in curing incurable diseases.
En India 5 doctores tuvieron su doctorado en curar enfermedades incurables.
Because these centers are the basis.
Porque estos centros son las bases.
And when this power rises through them, she nourishes them and integrates them.
Y cuando este poder se sube a través de ellos, los nutre y los integra.
And then connects you to this all-power-pervading power, which is a spiritual yoga.
Y entonces los conecta a este poder omnipresente, que es el poder espiritual, y se produce la unión espiritual.
So our human powers become unlimited.
Y entonces nuestros poderes humanos se vuelven ilimitados.
¿Cuáles son estos 6 centros?
¿Y cuáles son estos 6 centros?
Huh?
Which one these 6 centers are, Shri Mataji?
What?
Which ones are these 6 centers?
6 centers are. First one is, actually there are altogether 7. But the first one is the Muladhara,
En sí hay 7 centros, pero el primero se llama Muladhara,
which deals with all the excretion, including sex.
que se ocupa de todas las funciones de excreción, incluso el sexo.
But it is below the Kundalini.
Pero está más abajo que la energía Kundalini.
So sex does not play any part in our ascent.
Entonces el sexo no tiene ninguna parte, no toma ninguna parte en nuestra ascensión.
It is very immoral to say such a thing.
Y los que dicen esto son gente muy inmoral.
Then the second one is called Swadhisthana,
El segundo centro se llama Svadhisthana,
which caters for our physical and mental activities.
que se ocupa de nuestras actividades mentales y físicas.
So Shri Mataji was starting to talk about the energy centers there, which we will cover a bit more in the future sessions. So we might just go straight into the realization process. Is that yeah?
It was just the interview was in Argentina
I just presumed it was Italy. It kind of sounded Italian.
It's because I know the one who was translating he was in Switzerland with us.
It was like the Italian Ina and that sound was there and some Irish it's Italian.
So I could actually recognize a little bit of what he was saying when he was translating. Yes.
Ah.
So the main thing, as Shri Mataji was saying, the 7 energy centers we're talking about, the three energy channels, it is a very ancient technique. It's been there, all religions, all denominations talk about it, that internal strength, the spirit within us, to be one with ourselves, to, look within, the growth, always change within to change without, all of those things. The only thing is, it was the time where Shri Mataji, kind of discovered that opening of the 7th energy center, where then that process of self-realization or awakening of the Kundalini could be done en masse. So where it was, instead of 1-to-1, we had stadium 10, 20, 30,000 people and everyone could feel the Kundalini awakening, which was just amazing experience. So let's go through that realization process again, just having our hands out, and if possible, try and have your attention just on the soft bone area of our child. When you see a baby, we have the little soft bone area there, just putting the center of our palm, which is where the 7th energy center is, just pressing that down slightly and letting your attention kind of sit in that area as we are watching the next video.
Hand on the top of your head. Put it just on top. Your hand, your palm should touch the fontanelle bone area where you had a soft bone in your child, and press it and try to move it clockwise. Now at this point, as I said, I cannot cross your freedom, and you have to ask for your realization, otherwise I cannot force it. So just say 7 times, Mother, I want my realization, please give me realization. 7 times. Now raise your hand and see if there's a cool breeze coming in. Now change your hand, please. Put your right hand down and the left hand on top of your head. And now see, raise it little high, about 6 inches high. 6 inches high. It is weak. Got most of it. All can raise both your hands on top of your head. Open your eyes. Raise them high, high up. And now ask a question in your heart. Is this the wind of the Holy Ghost? Is this the Brahmasha? Is this the all-pervading power of love of God that does all the living work? Now feel it yourself. Those who have come for the second time must have definitely felt it, but I'll tell you today what is to be done tonight and work it out. It will be better. You might get a photograph from these people tonight. In the beginning, it's better to use my photograph because it has got vibrations. Now what you can do is to put a candle in front of the photograph and you can see the vibrations are coming from the photograph. Now put the left hand towards the photograph and right hand like this. Just now you can do it. Put the left hand towards me and the right hand like this. Now this is the balance. This is the balance we are doing. Put left hand towards me and right hand out like this at the back. You see, like this. So we are ventilating. Alright. Now see on the left hand if it is coming. They are all thoughtless if you see that. Now, you put your right hand towards me and left hand. Heart. You have to believe that you are the Spirit. That's all you have to believe. You have to believe in yourself. That's all I want you to believe in. That you are the Spirit. Good?
attention rested in that space above your head. Keep your eyes closed. And if you find these thoughts coming, just don't get involved in it. Just let the thoughts flow by. Mother, I'm not this thought. I am the spirit. Dimitri, if you can have Shri Mataji's photo, please, on the screen. And we just move our attention from the top of our head, down our spine, to the base. And just below our coccyx bone is our first energy center, the root energy center, the Muladhara, which basically is like the foundation of a house. So the stronger the foundation, the stronger the house, the longer it lasts. So strengthening our Muladhara helps to sustain the awakening of the Kundalini within us and her in an awakened state for longer. Now, as Shri Mataji was saying, just to trust yourself, you are the spirit. And the Kundalini within us, which is our birth mother, our spiritual mother within us, is here to guide us, to nurture, to awaken within us, to establish our spirit, the joy of the spirit in our heart, and the connection to the divine. Each energy center has its own quality. The quality of the Muladhara is innocence. So as this gets established within us, or as the energy center gets established, this quality gets established within us, flows through us, and becomes part and parcel of our nature, our thoughts, our being. The Mother, please make us innocent, innocent like children. Please make us auspicious, like beautiful flowers that spreads the fragrance of love everywhere, of innocence. Please make us humble, and wise. Please establish the joy of divinity within us. And we request for all the obstacles to our ascent be removed, so that the majesty and the dignity of our spirit can be established within us. We move our attention from the base of the spine up to our heart. We just place our right hand on our heart on the left side, where our physical heart is. Mother, I am the Spirit. Mother, let me experience the joy of my spirit, the unconditional love of the divine flow through my heart. Mother, I am the Spirit. We move our attention back to the Sahasrara and just sit in meditation for a few minutes with just the sound of, with a little bit of music, which is the sound of Om, that encompasses all the sounds of the left, the right, and the center channels.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Rita, for this beautiful session. Thank you, Chris. Tonight, it was so peaceful, so beautiful. Really getting us to understand that there's so much beauty within us that can just be radiating towards us.
Yes. Well, I hope everyone that you did, you could feel the vibrations and you could feel, some silencing of your thoughts and some of that joy and the peace of the spirit within. And we hope to continue, that you will continue this journey with us in the next few weeks to learn a little bit more about your energy centers and share that journey with us. Please join on the WhatsApp group.
Totally beautiful. Shall we do the raising of our Kundalini and putting ourselves into abundance, which is what we do when we meditate, which is placing us into a sacred space, which is where we can then be in that place where we can go within. Yeah. Again, the left hand is just go rising and the right hand circling around the left hand. One knot. Second, 2 knots. And the third time, 3 knots. 1, 2, 3. And for the 7 centers, 7 subtle centers within us. The bandhan is also called a bond of love, wrapped in divine protective love. 6, 7. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the technical team who had to do amazing last-minute adjustment to bring this program to live, especially Mitya.
Yes, great job, Mitya. Thank you very much. He just absolutely did a wonderful last-minute learning session to live stream and do that, absolutely. And have a fantastic week, everyone. And we will see you again next week on Tuesday, same time, same place.
See you then.
See you then.
Enjoy the vibrations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.